Okay, well, I'm just about done with the reassembly of the new dash with all the new parts. I've got all the gauges mounted. I don't know if you'll be able to tell any of this stuff. Well, just got to trust me there. Let's take a look at it this way. Hope you can see all this stuff. Speedo, tack, all these parts down here are in. Messing around the door, that's always a lot of fun. Get that worked out just right. What I'm doing right now is I'm working on the duct work. That one was already pretty stiff. I don't really have too much problem. I might work on that a little bit, but this was very soft. And what I'm doing is taking some closed cell foam like this thin stuff. I guess it's probably I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch. I wrap it into a loop. I put some tape on it to keep it shut like that, and I stick this on the end of the plastic parts that make the duct distribution, and that gets a nice friction fit, you know, inside these pipes. So I've already done this one here, and it's really holding on there good and solid, so that's a good solution to it. You know, came out pretty good. This is on a scale of 1 to 10 a job. Doing it by yourself, I'd probably say it's about a 7, 6. Not super easy because there's a lot of screws to keep up with, and you got to do a lot of manipulation to get the pad to fit on just right. In my particular pad, there was a hole misdrilled or a hard point not molded in right. I had to re-drill a hole. It wasn't a big deal. Maybe they've got that straightened out. It had to do with the holes around the cigarette lighter down there. You know, like I said, no big deal. I got a drill. I made sure I put a drill stopper. I had to drill the metal. I didn't want to go through and, you know, shoot through the rubber. So obviously that was a little bit nerve-wracking. But I got it in, and then you manipulate the dash around on all the hard points screws, and these start tightening things up. Like I said, aligning the door was probably the most time-consuming part. I mean, between getting this strip here mounted, getting the door to close properly, getting the latch to work properly, adjusting the striker, blah 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 blah. You know, that was most of the work right there. The only thing I have left to do now, obviously, is finish up the duct work, and I'm assuming that finisher will fit. I'll probably test fit the instrument finisher before I actually put the thing in there. I don't want any surprises happening around there. But yeah, we're about ready to wrap this up. The only mistake I made was let me see if I can show you this. Careful. Right here, I got a little scratching this on the plastic. And that happened because I guess when I was installing the slide, there must have been a little scratchy part on the bezel, and I guess just working it in there, I managed to scratch that up. So that kind of stinks, but you know, if that's the extent of my damage, I'll take it. Overall, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. I had to really work on the bezels. They were just barely enough material to get these bezels to fit, and they weren't perfect from the factory either, so I can't really complain too much about that. This one was the same thing. There's just barely enough material. You have to really work it to get that in there. It would be better if those foam bits were set back a little bit deeper to give you a little more wiggle room to get the gauges up in. As it is just barely there. You got to be very careful not to chew up the edges when you're putting those in. You have to kind of get them started and twist them in, but be very careful when you're doing that. I made a small punch. I punched the holes out for these two things here. Just took a brass tube and sharpened up the edges. The cigarette lighter is a little off center. That goes back to that hard point that wasn't molded in there just right. But that's no big deal. You'll never notice that when it's installed. And I was going to go in there and try to reset my amp meter so that it centers properly. I don't know if you can see there or not, but with no amp, it shows a little bit negative. I couldn't see any kind of a adjusting screw on the back that lets you center it up. So I guess it's just not, it's not a precision piece of equipment, so I guess that's just the way it is. The clock, I have a clock that works perfect and keeps perfect time. This clock loses or gains, a couple minutes every day. So it's a little bit of a problem, but not a big deal. I decided to just leave the clock alone. I can't remember if the face of this clock was better than my perfect clock or what, but it probably needs some capacitor replacements, but I'm getting tired. I don't like having my car all pull apart. So we're going to get this all put back together. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get it all reinstalled. It'll be good to go. But yeah, I mean, it's good. So far it's been a one-man project. I think putting it in tomorrow, I'm definitely going to get my helper out here and see if she can't give me a hand with a few things, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty precarious trying to balance that dash up in there. But overall, it wasn't not a horrible job. Just it's a nice product. The fact that you can get a brand new dash, foam and plastic, not some dash cap, which I hate, and not the super expensive refurbishment where there's another outfit that takes this and shrinks on some new plastic over the existing foam, fixes up the foam and shrinks it on, blah 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 blah. But it's, literally twice as expensive, and you still have to ship it. So that was just an option I didn't see happening. So these guys at Vintage Dashes really came through with a nice product here. I'll show a finished product when we're all done. But if you got a cracked up dash, I think that's definitely the way to go. Here's my old dash, just so you can get a better look at it. The only real problem I had was this one crack right in the center there that came all the way through. It was in pretty good shape other than that, but again, I think I mentioned earlier, my point of view is get the dash while you can, because Vintage Dashes is just, I don't think it's a big outfit. Some guys just doing a good thing for the enthusiast community, and there may come a point in time when maybe it just doesn't work for them anymore, and you'll have missed your shot. So, get one and hang on to it. If nothing else, if you own one of these cars, I would think you'd get it just to have it as a spare. Let's talk about spares. You know how that goes. Spares are everything. If the big boys ever start supporting these cars like they do all the American muscle cars, that would be great. But for right now, we gotta pick and scrap and get whatever we can, whatever is available. Anyway, that's all for now. Next video, I'll go ahead and have it all put back together. Hopefully, that'll be tomorrow. We'll see how things go. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.